Hi there. Welcome to the Small Business Coffee Break, the series where we take a few minutes to work on your business, not just in it. Today we're talking about how does a small business use targeted ads with Diane Snider of RevLocal. Diane has been helping small businesses get found online since 2020. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Able to do that now, it's a completely different skill to get into that targeted ad section.
Correct.
How does that work, and what does targeted mean?
So targeted ads are very specific. So a lot of people just create their own targeted ads and they one and done it. They set them up, walk away, and they hope for the best. And those are far less likely to be effective. And it makes me sad, to be honest with you, because it's such a waste of people's ad budget. But really geofencing who your ideal client is and maximizing on that, and then optimizing your ad campaign on an ongoing basis. That's integral. That you are seeking out who your ideal audience is and getting your ads to drop directly in front of them. For example, if you're a roofer and you want more metal roofs to put on, not shingles, then you're gonna run a targeted ad and really geofence the population that wants a metal roof, not a shingle roof. Maybe you only want mansions and you don't want whatever. Right. You know, so whatever it is that you're looking for, when you really geofence and geo-target your ideal client, you're able to drop your ad directly in front of them when they search for what you do, and boom, there's your ad. You have a greater chance of getting that business then because you're visible. Only 30% of people actually click on an ad. So it's pulling from your budget when someone clicks on your ad. So if they don't click on your ad, like for myself, I try not to click on an ad because I don't want to use somebody's budget. But what I try to do is if I see their ad on top and then I see them in the 3-pack, I'll click on their 3-pack. So I'll click on them on their Google Business profile and reach out to them that way. I just save them money, but I still reached my source. If they have an ad but they're not in the 3-pack, typically you're going to go with who is. So whoever's coordinating is more likely to get the business than not.
That's so funny. I do the same thing. So I'm aware that it costs money every time you click on the thing, and so I always try to find the one that doesn't cost them money.
Right.
Because, well, for a lot of reasons, I don't want the expense of the thing I'm buying to go up because then people are constantly clicking on ads. Not that I don't want to feed Google. Google does good all by itself. It doesn't need my help. But I do also sometimes just find myself realizing, oh, they have an ad and the free one. Let me click on and that's how I think of them, as the expense. I'm a small business owner, right? So I'm always thinking about expenses, so I will click on that, and it's more likely for me to click on someone who has an ad,
right?
Than people who maybe don't have an ad. And it also depends, I guess, on what I'm looking for, right? So if I'm hyper niched about a specific product, you talked about geofencing, which basically means just saying only in a specific geographical area, right? Basically geographical boundaries of where you want to do. So if you wanted, for instance, you mentioned large homes, let's make it relevant to a place near us. It's like, oh, you want to do metal roofs you want to be the expert on metal roofs in Pinecrest. Right. You can literally target ads that are only for people coming in and out of Pinecrest, people in that area, people who are homeowners and are in Pinecrest, right?
That are employed, that have this income, have kids, don't have kids, whatever. Yeah, you can geofence.
And there's a relationship between the cost for that, right? It may be you may reduce some of the cost the more targeted you are, because maybe less people trying to bid on those such specific ad. Or it may be more expensive, but at the end of the day, you're much more likely to get that hit, right? You're much more likely to be that relevant source and get the sale, because they went directly to the answer to their question, which was the metal roof expert in Pinecrest, right?
Exactly.
Versus roofer Pinecrest, which is maybe just as good. It has nothing to do with how good the service is. This is all about, right? Because it's all about how being found for that thing, and building that authority or credibility with the client to make them choose you versus the next business.
Right.
And so, it's being targeted with your ads is so important, because that's the most important part of that. I think the first one you just said, you say, well, some people do their own targeted ads. Well, they just kind of don't do the targeting part of that ads.
Right. Yes.
They just kind of put it out there.
Right.
Let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Diane, ask them in the comments, or her contact information is in the description. If you have any questions you'd like me to ask Diane, or any other professional in their field, my contact information is also in the description, and I'm always available via DM. See you next week for another cup of coffee and more questions answered.